Hello, my name is Brian Pitts, and I'd like to share my story with you about living with hypertrophic cardiomyopathy, heart failure, and eventual heart transplant. In 2007, while I'm at a wedding in Wichita, Kansas, I would suffer a full cardiac arrest. Luckily, the bride, a trained nurse, was able to do CPR on me for about 7 minutes until the EMTs arrived and were able to shock me back to life. I would wake up in Wichita in a hospital and they would tell me I have hypertrophic cardiomyopathy. I'm lucky. Only about 10% of people that suffer a cardiac arrest from this condition survive. I was literally at the right place at the right time. I would be sent home with a newly implanted defibrillator pacemaker in my chest, and I would follow up with my local cardiologist, Dr. Lauren Barenbaum at the University of Kansas Medical Center. I'd see him every 4 to 6 months, and we would check my device and scan it, checking levels, making medication tweaks. But for the most part, I would live a pretty normal life up until about 2011. That's when I would receive my first shock. It seems I'd gone into ventricular fibrillation again. Another cardiac arrest was imminent, and my device would shock me, saving my life. In 2014, I would need my device changed out as the battery would become low. Dr. Lauren Barenbaum would perform the surgery to implant my device, an outpatient procedure. I was home the very same day. Life would continue on pretty normally from 2014 up until about 2021. Little did I know that things were about to get pretty serious pretty quickly. December of 2021, I would suffer another shock. My heart would go into a rhythm called ventricular tachycardia, a dangerous rhythm that can easily convert into ventricular fibrillation. My device once again saved my life, but through testing and visits to the doctor, it would be discovered that I was entering end-stage heart failure from hypertrophic cardiomyopathy. Shortly after my diagnosis of hypertrophic cardiomyopathy end-stage heart failure, I would contract COVID. I would wind up hospitalized in a different local hospital, and they would perform a right heart catheterization procedure to check my heart function. After several visits back and forth to the hospital, we would start to have the conversation of heart transplant. Over the next few weeks, I would suffer several runs of ventricular tachycardia. This wouldn't be fast enough for my device to recognize and shock, making it a very dangerous situation. I transmitted my data from my implanted device to the hospital, and I received a call that I should urgently report to the ER that my life was in danger. After getting me stabilized, I would be admitted to the hospital, and they would put me on 2 different new antiarrhythmic medications. During this time, they would begin testing me to make sure I was a suitable transplant recipient. After about 10 days of testing and getting me stabilized and used to this new medication, I'd be sent home. I was told I would be listed at a 4 on the UNOS transplant list, and I would really just have to begin waiting, planning for the worst, but hoping for the best. I would be listed February 15th, 2022. It would be a short 63 days later, I would suffer another very dangerous run of ventricular tachycardia. This is when doctors decided to admit me, raise my level to a 2, and tell me I wouldn't go home without a new heart. Over the course of the next couple of days, friends and family would come to visit me. They all tried to stay very positive, keeping me upbeat and happy. I'm thankful that I had these friends and family to stand by my side, because I really was facing the scariest thing I've ever faced in my entire life. Over the next few days, my condition began to really deteriorate rather quickly. You could visibly tell I was sick. I felt really poor. I had little to no energy. My color was off. I was beginning to bloat and really slip deeply into heart failure. 36 hours after being admitted to the hospital, I would receive the call. The Superman symbol you see represents me. My wife and I had worked out a plan that when I received the call, I would play a song on the Alexa at our home. I turned the volume all the way up and the plan was to play the Rocky theme. What happened was I selected the wrong song, and the Superman theme played through the house full blast. She said in the end it was perfect because she always calls me her Superman. Susan would arrive early the next morning and spend the day with me, waiting for the next part of my journey. We talked, we laughed, we cried. We were really pretty nervous about what was to come. I was wheeled back into the surgical suite about 9:30 in the evening. I would wait for my heart for several hours to arrive. The surgery itself would take approximately 4 hours. As they prepare me for surgery and hook me up to all the lines and the monitors, these are some of the images that come across my mind and all of the reasons I have to live. "9 hours after being in the surgical suite, I am put into recovery. I'm unconscious, I am intubated, I am unaware. I am the 159th heart transplant patient at the University of Kansas Medical Center. Over the course of the next 12 hours or so, they take my breathing tube out, they sit me up, they're just kind of looking me over and putting medications in me. I'm conscious at this point. I have some ice water and some ice chips. I'm starving. I keep telling them I want food so bad. There's an x-ray, my chest, no more defibrillator, it's gone. I'm bandaged up from head to toe. And 15 hours after transplant, I am walking down the hallway for the first time with a new heart in my chest. Walking down the hallway, it takes a couple of nurses to help push along my IV poles. I've got 22 or 23 IVs running into my body, all sorts of different medications. I have to rest a lot. There's a lot of fatigue in my body. I've got my pillow there to hold while I have to cough. This is my chest tubes coming out of my abdomen. These are to drain fluid from the surgery. On day 2, I believe, they take these out of me. And I'm off most, if not all, of the IVs. I think I had just a couple remaining. Up there on the screen, if you look, you can see a beautiful, normal, healthy sinus rhythm. My heart before transplant was completely chaotic. I was prone to arrhythmia. I was always having PVCs or PVC storms. And again, of course, the tachycardia. The nursing care that I received in the cardiac ICU unit was just absolutely top notch. Some of the best people in nursing. I just cherish the care they gave me, and there's a few that I actually go back and visit from time to time. As I'm healing, I'm getting stronger and stronger. I'm doing a little more walking every couple of hours down the hallway, and then they elevate me up to the step-down unit, which is on the 4th floor, and there you can see I'm bloated. I've got so much fluid on me from surgery. The little blue thing on my stomach there you can see is a defibrillator. It's kind of an emergency defibrillator. It's got wires that run and lay next to your heart, and they're going to take that out of me in a day or two. And there I am walking the hallways, walking. That's all you can do is try to regain your strength, help kind of alleviate some of that shortness of breath and some of that fatigue. And lots of resting and walking and eating. It's about all you can do. There I'm having yogurt for my morning breakfast. I think I survived mostly on yogurt and eggs. And there I am walking again. There's me, got my thumb up. Who makes this new heart look good? This guy. There's my friend Dan, who came to visit me. Several more friends came by to visit as I was recovering. And there's Lucy, my favorite little Boston Terrier. We have 3 now, but I tell you, there's nothing that Lucy love cannot cure. And I was so thankful that she got to come see me. I'd been away from her for so long, and I just missed her terribly. She's the most affectionate, warm, loving animal I've ever met in my life. This is my friend Mason, who came to visit me. We've been close friends for a long time, and his father is a transplant recipient. and he would come to mentor me from time to time. This stay in the hospital, I came to love chicken in a cup. There's some more friends. There's my friend Clinton. He's my transplant advisor and coordinator. He's fantastic. He takes great care of me still to this day, and I sure enjoy talking with him. And that's me dancing in the hallways. I'm dancing because it's day 8, I believe, since transplant, and they've told me I'm going to probably go home tomorrow, day 9. This is my friend Anthony, and when Anthony saw me walking the halls and doing so good on day 8, he was just dumbfounded that I had just had a heart transplant. And he had to actually physically touch me and put his hands on me. He couldn't believe how good I looked. And to see Anthony so completely inspired, to be so full of exultation at my well-being and how well I am doing after transplant, that's really what inspired me to become a transplant mentor. Anthony and I, still today, 9 months after my transplant, we're great friends. We talk on the phone regularly. We talk about transplant and procedure and med levels and how things are going. And we just stay in touch, and it's awesome to have that friend with a thing in common, and it's awesome to have that support. Here I am, day 9. I am dressed and ready to leave. They wheel me down the hall, out to the front doors, where my beautiful wife and my Jeep await. The gratitude, it's almost a whole nother conversation. Just, it washes over you to have so much wellness and to feel so good and to be a recipient of a gift of life. The gratitude just pours out of you. I get back to my home, and it's literally like I see things again through brand new eyes. I'm amazed to be home. It feels fantastic to be alive and be with my wife and with my family again. There I am having my first cup of coffee out on my deck. Just elated. There's my t-shirt I was given from the group, Transplant 159. There's the look out of my bedroom window where I spent time healing. This is Pip, for short. Piper is her name, Piper McGillicuddy, we call her. And we would actually go on to get a third Boston Terrier. Here's a look at the pill regimen I have to take. This is just some of them, not even all of them. And that's part of your new normal. A couple of months after transplant, we would attend the Midwest Transplant Network's Donate Life Legacy Walk at the Liberty Memorial in Kansas City. It's just across from the Union Station. And a bunch of my friends and family turned out to go on this memorial walk. You see the sidewalk there. It's lined with cards from either donor families or recipient families. And I tell you, there's not a dry eye on that sidewalk. It's a really emotional journey, walking that 1/8 of a mile with all my friends here and looking at all these people that have had transplant touch their lives. And that's why it's so important for me to get the message out there that you've got to be a registered donor. Go to the UNOS homepage, select your state that you're currently living in, and register. That way, nobody can really argue the fact that you are a registered donor. Family can't block it. It really conveys what your wishes are. God forbid, should something happen to you, your life can help save some other lives. And I tell you, if it weren't for somebody just like you, I wouldn't probably be here today. I was in pretty bad shape and needed a heart pretty quick. And I'm amazed, on the list, 67 days, and I got my heart. Well, it wasn't all perfect. There were a couple of bumps in the road. I did end up having a little bit of rejection in month 3. I just turned up as an R2 rejection and wound up back in the hospital for 3 days. We did some infusions and cleared things right up. Just a bump in the road. There I am with the Swan-Ganz catheter in my neck that goes down into my heart so they can maintain pressure level checks. And they know what's going on with the heart. There's really not a lot of indication if you're in rejection, but there I am, headed home. My Jeep used to be branded for my CBD business, I thought it'd be pretty cool because it's that green color and it really stands out, and it's perfect for the Donate Life ribbon color. I rebranded the Jeep Donate Life. So if you see me cruising around the Kansas City area, honk at me, wave at me, see me in a parking lot pulled over, say hi, come and talk to me, and I'll be more than happy to talk to you about my journey, about transplant, and getting the message out there and normalizing the conversation, how important it is to be a registered donor. Thanks for watching my story. I appreciate it. And if you have any questions, I'm more than happy to help. Bye-bye.